Hello YouTube, I'm Juhan Rodrik and this one's an update for my small artwork collection that originates from my sketchbooks that I broke apart into individual artworks that are now much more presentable, and I can exhibit them and work with them. And some of my artworks are all these artworks also in the video are presented on my online gallery in the links below the video, and also my contact information is provided below the video in the description, so you can stay up to date with my new artworks on Facebook and also my online gallery. So at the moment this one for startup is one of my sketch from first artwork is from sketchbook, and it's an architectural sketch and some sketch for my surrealist landscape. I usually sometimes do some surrealist artworks, and this one is one of them. I started it as a sketch, and later I decided to color it up into the artwork it currently is. And doing small artworks, I never have to worry that I have too many artworks because small artworks are much easier to store. That's with bigger canvases I may run into a storage problem, but with an A4 format approximately and similar paper artworks, I can fit much more into my storage and work out all ideas that ever happen into my mind. And this artwork exploits some surrealist motives, and here's also a little twist on my moon face. And sometimes I do moon faces like these and have fun with them, and do something, some smiles and things like those. And the inspiration comes from my I don't know, childhood or somewhere, where the moon was presented as a face, and here I have also done it. And the next artwork also contains a smiling moon like that, and it's a surrealist landscape that I have made, and I kind of like how it works. I like tall trees and some hill motifs, and that's a pretty nice artwork that came out. I kind of like it. And the next one is one of my collage and my animal artwork that is made testing different colors on a horse, and I made it to look like also to use some newspaper cuts to work on the good news subject as a positive artwork it is, and I'm counterbalancing the prevalent bad news in the newsprint, and so that's how I came up with the artwork like this. And the next one is inspired by a video game or something, and with my surrealist twist I made a surrealist landscape with falling grenades and Molotov cocktails and a few cannons, and I got an inspiration. I got inspired by maybe a sci-fi movie or something, and I made something like that. I haven't played video games or computer games at all, almost at all. Maybe like I have never played them in my life. In my childhood, I didn't have a computer, and I didn't have computer games or video games either. I was playing outside mainly, and outdoors, and in the nature, and watching heavy equipment in the harbor rolling around, and I do have had I had two computer games, and both were boat simulators where you can drive a boat, and these are the only computer games that I have ever had. And this artwork is mainly, maybe it may work with also a video game, but it may also be like more like a sci-fi, because I'm more into movies and things like those. And the next one is one of my pin-up series that I made with some maybe chopper motif or something like that, and made a pin-up in a landscape like this one, a small painting, and some of my usual fashionable takes, and a sunny and positive look, as my works usually contain. I most like to do some bright colors and things like these, and I'm quite pleased how this one came out. Some fictional or some movie take is added on it. And the next one is from the similar. I do have quite a passion for high-rise buildings and cityscapes also, so I have a little body of cityscape paintings and artworks also. And here's one example of it. I usually walk out right around the twilight. That's my favorite time to go walking, and then I also can watch the sunset and get inspired by street lights and things like that. And the next one is one of my riddly artwork and double image artwork. Looks pretty erotic or something, and not much quite pin-up series, but more like expressionist cubist inspired. Made a mixed up artwork like this one. I call it the hot art. Probably when I was drawing it, I was watching the movie about art frauds, which was also called the hot art, so this artwork has nothing to do with the movie, but I was watching the movie and drawing at the same time, and this is a marker and felt tip pen drawing, one of my favorite thing to draw with. And the next one is one of my pin-ups that also go to the same series, and of my felt tip pen drawings and marker drawings and pen drawings. And I kind of like how it looks like I was testing more like expressionist move and brushwork with it. And I sometimes do it with a brush and sometimes do it with a pen, so whatever feels handy. I can't do painting too long. I get bored with painting and I gotta switch out the technique. That's why I have more than one technique that I do the works with. I substitute it time to time, and this one is one of my acrylic painting out of my sketchbook, and that's my fictional colored pinup again. I had a red body, here's a blue body, probably inspired by Avatar or something. Maybe the Avatar might be the source of inspiration how to do different colored bodies, but I have done it much earlier, so I can't link the inspiration source to there. I have done these much earlier than Avatar came out. And the next one is also one of my cityscape drawing, including a pinup, including a cityscape. And this one is also this drawing is also digitally colored, and I have it in that form also. A different version of it. And the next one is one of my ancient history abuses. I have abused some ancient history and fiction twisted together into that artwork. I have mentioned earlier in my earlier videos also that some inspiration for my artworks come from Roman and other ancient history, and I take some motifs from there and then twist together with the things I do. So I make some pop art inspired artworks like these, and I mix up with my pinups and all others I do. And here's one of my pinup from 2010 that also exploits my fashional designs and things like those. I haven't done any fashion design, but I have made some. Lately I have done some fashion things and used my artworks on clothing and things like those. That's also you can see on the links below the video. And the next one is one of my pinup drawings that I made in 2016. Well, I don't know how much of my artworks have changed if I put a comparison an earlier artwork like one from 2010 here with the chili motifs, and one from 2007, maybe even 2006, something like that. Oh, oops, I knocked my tripod. Camera's kind of low. Nope. Okay, better. And not much changes to my eye, at least. How about you? And here's one of 2016 sketchbook artwork I made. And there are some different takes during the years, but I have some sort of a range within. I fluctuate with my artworks. And the next one is again 2006. And 10 years later, nothing has changed pretty much. Right. Then this one I drew in 2007. Well, pretty much the same techniques. I fluctuate between drawing and painting and some techniques and styles I use. So there are a few differences here and there. I vary, and well, all these works are presented on the links below the video, so you can get the idea of the variation in my artworks that exist. And here's one fresher. I made it last year, like 2016. This one a painting and drawing mixture, and this one is one of the old ones of 2007. I kind of like this felt tip pen drawing. Felt tip pens are one of my favorite techniques, but I substitute the technique. Like I don't do one technique too long. One period I paint, one period I draw. I like fluctuate these periods. And here's one of my fashionable pinup, or my fashion design inspired pinup, or my pinup inspired fashion design, or something like that. And also a cigarette boat inspired. I also am inspired by boating, and I like harbor works and yachting a lot, so I also have a pleasure craft operator training completed, and I'm a trained and licensed boat operator also, besides doing art. Just a side note. So I'm trained and licensed to operate up to 24-meter boat internationally. And the next one is also a 2010 series pinup drawing that I have made. And the floral motifs, or the expressionist brushing on it, or maybe something kind of a mix. And the last one for today, 2010's fairy drawing, fairy subject with a different kind of a wing set. I experiment with the wing set. I have also put plain wings on the fairy, and many bug wings and butterfly wings, and plain wings with machine guns and cannons attached, and so on. I have a pretty extensive body of fairies, fairy artworks. And this is one example of my fairy artwork, a small scale artwork, a little bit smaller than an A4. And on the links below are all other fairy artworks also represented. Okay, but this update would be it for today, and thank you for joining me the ride. And my contact is also listed in the description below the video, and you're welcome to join me on Facebook or on social media, or write me. And thank you for watching, and see you next time.